You're listening to the Trading Bear Podcast. This is episode 54, The Daily Show.
Mystery player. Position.
Defender.
Start price.
38p.
Current price.
£1.19.
PB.
13p.
MB.
0.
Dividend yield.
10.9%.
Welcome back, thanks for joining in. In today's news, Aston Villa collected the final 2019-20 spot in the Premier League next season after inflicting a 2-1 defeat over Derby County in the Championship playoff final, held at Wembley in front of over 85,000 fans. Villa's John McGinn continued his impressive season by grabbing what turned out to be the game-winning goal, although many of the popular trading players, the likes of Grealish, Abraham, Wilson and Mount, failed to really shine. More on those players later. Elsewhere, Harry Kane has declared himself fit for the Champions League final this Saturday, with Kane himself saying, "I feel good. There have been no problems so far. I started to feel my way back with the team at the end of the last week. This week now is to get the fitness as high as possible. Then it's down to the manager. The manager will assess it and decide whether I'm ready to go or not, but so far I feel good and ready." And lastly, news emerged late in the afternoon today of a possible takeover bid at Newcastle United. It's no secret that current owner Mike Ashley wants to sell the club, and that has now emerged for the first time as a likely outcome, with Sheikh Zayed, cousin of Manchester City's billionaire owner Sheikh Mansour, posing as the Angel of the North, lodging a bid which has officially been confirmed by club officials at Newcastle. A report on BBC even goes as far as quoting the Bin Zayed group as terms being agreed, with the group hoping to complete the deal, open quotes, at the earliest opportunity, close quotes. Stand by then for more rumours of Coutinho and Gareth Bale being spotted on the Geordie shores sometime soon. So as the mood of the tsunami rises at the prospect of Ashley finally leaving the club, who else has seen their stock rise today? Well, for today's risers and fallers, we look at not so much as an individual player, but rather a collective group. The Risers group is spearheaded by the announcement of the England Under-21 squad, with the likes of Damari Gray, Morgan Gibbs-White and Harvey Barnes all rising, 9p, 8p and 4p respectively, upon their inclusion in the squad named on Bank Holiday Monday. However, the biggest beneficiary of the squad announcement was 21-year-old striker Dominic Solanke, the former Liverpool player who recently signed for Bournemouth this January in a £19 million deal, rose 11p to take him to a current price of 69p. One man who bucked today's trend by being named in that under-21 side, but dramatically falling, was Chelsea's on-loan star Tammy Abraham. Abraham therefore belonging in today's group of fallers, who can also be categorised into the Championship playoff final players. With only one match being played today in England, all attention was on the televised match worth £170 million to the winner via promotion to the Premier League. Trading seemed extra volatile around the players involved, as traders wildly speculated on each goal going in. The biggest loser was the previously mentioned Abraham, who fell 15p to take him to a current price of £1.60, his lowest point in 3 weeks. The drop was more severe than just those that had taken a daily punt, taking their money out, so I can only speculate that this was the first time those traders involved in Abraham had seen him play. Despite grabbing 25 goals this year, he is not one that passes the eye test, with his general all-round game once again being found lacking today. The jury therefore remains out whether or not he'll make it at the Premier League level, despite his proven impressive record at the level below. With Derby falling victims to Villa's victory, there was less surprise in seeing their star men, Harry Wilson and Mason Mount, falling as well, 13p and 9p this time respectively. Although again slightly odd on Mount's case at least, as he is another that has been announced in the England Under-21 squad today and goes back to Chelsea during the summer after a fairly successful campaign in the Championship. We go into this episode's prospect player now, a player who I feel could do well in the near future and attract buys. For this episode we head into the African continent, but a player currently involved in matches being played in Poland. We are of course looking once more at the Under-20 World Cup again, but not the leading favourites of a Portugal, a France or an Argentina, but rather the quietly confident team of Senegal. After wins over Tahiti and Colombia, Senegal have already made it through to the last 16 knockout stage. And leading the line for the Lions, try saying that quickly 10 times, is Ibrahim Nian. Nian, who plays for the newly promoted Ligue 1 side Metz, has scored 10 and 33 this season, on the way to Metz winning the Ligue 2 table by 7 clear points. Nian is currently priced at 69p and could follow in the footsteps of this season's Ligue 1 strikers of Nicolas Pepe, Ismail Assar and Marcus Thuram. It's also worth noting Nian's club and country teammate Habib Diallo, who has netted 26 times in 37 matches this season, with the 23-year-old ineligible to feature at the Under-20 World Cup, possibly set to feature for Senegal at this year's African Cup of Nations, although he's extremely unlucky to face competition for the likes of the previously mentioned Ismail Assar, Keita Balde and Liverpool's Sadio Mane. Let's have a look at some of your questions now then. This episode's first question comes via Twitter, with FPL Addict wanting to know the following. Do you think the Premier League fixtures or other league fixtures announcements will have much impact on prices? The short answer is yes, I do, FPL Addict. Right now, without any games, any piece of news is triggering prices to rise and fall, and I don't think the announcement of fixtures will be any different. In fact, with IBDs almost virtually being confirmed as here to stay permanently by Adam Cole last week, incidentally you can listen to episode 53 for highlights of his comments from that last week, and I think you'll definitely see a price surge in a player if their respective club has a kind run of fixtures early doors. Check out my Twitter page at TradingBear1 for fixture release dates. As a quick heads up, the Premier League 2019-20 calendar will be released on Thursday the 13th of June. What we might well see is a top 10 side, for example in Everton or Leicester or Wolves, who have an easier start. The prices of their players, Jamie Vardy for example, will almost certainly rise. And this demand for those players is similar to what you would expect at the start of a new fantasy football season, for traders with that background. The second question arrives via email from Jack Mudgate, who wrote, "The rises in players from the Under-20 World Cup have been much larger than I expected. Do you think this trend will continue A, for the rest of the tournament, and B, for the other summer tournaments, like the Under-21 Euros?" Yes, Jack, to answer part A of your question, I do expect the trend to continue, and hence why I've highlighted the favoured teams and some of their players in previous episodes, the likes of Diaby and Gori at France, and Jota Felipe and Trincao at Portugal, for example. What I perhaps didn't expect is for those players that were talked about pre-tournament and have yet to show much, the likes of Lee Kang-in for South Korea, and RB Salzburg's young striker Erling Haaland for Norway, and for their prices to either hold or continue to rise. There's definitely strong sentiment in buying youth players on the market at the moment, under the guise that even if they don't perform yet, they're sure to in the future. Of course, we all know that this will be true for some, but not for all, so it's a case of riding the wave, but not getting too greedy with the younger players. As for part B of your question, will it continue for the other summer tournaments, like the Under-21 Euros? Well, yes to that as well, as we've already seen evidence of that today, with the price rises for the England Under-21 squad announcement, as spoken about previously on this episode. Check out my Twitter page for a list of key dates then for when each summer tournament starts. And that's it for this episode. You can download and subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify and Podbean. Head over to the website to send in a question, tradingbearpodcast.com. Alternatively, you can find me on Index Gain or Twitter under the name Trading Bear. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the Mystery Player.
Mystery player. Position.
Defender.
Start price.
38p.
Current price.
£1.19.
PB.
13p.
MB.
0.
Dividend yield.
10.9%.
Trading Bear. Today's mystery player was Leverkusen defender Jonathan Tah.